Let's talk about Dystopia then. This song, I would say, has a lot to do with Brave New World when thinking about the background, the topics that I wrote about. So with Brave New World, and I mentioned in the video I made that Brave New World has a lot of inspiration from dystopian topics, right? Being a fan of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, and Dystopia follows this a similar pattern, but in another classic dystopian novel, which is 1984 by George Orwell, something I read way like many years before Brave New World, but it was a book I really really liked. I think it left me a lot of those question marks of authoritarian governments and how we are being used to whatever bigger agenda and so on and so forth. A bit brutal, a bit sad, so let's say, but interesting. I find it interesting. So the song is essentially about the age of surveillance and post-truth that we live in. So I think nowadays there's this clear thing that facts and reality and truth are not that important anymore. Apparently, it's more about how you shape that to fit your own agenda and your own narrative, right? So also when I wrote in the lyrics in the beginning of the song, when I'm singing "Change the past and write your own," reality can be whatever you want. It's coming from that perspective, that sense of, historical revisionism, and whatever happened, whatever, let's pretend it didn't. Let's erase that and write something on top of it, right? Which is something that fascist figures and authoritarian figures tend to do a lot, and that was what I was trying to tackle in the song, to write about. And also the aspect of surveillance and how technology and the internet and big data and machine learning and AI and blah 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 blah, all the things we're talking so much about, how we are so keen to embrace those new technologies. And I'm on that as well. Like I like new technologies. I am interested in knowing about that stuff. But it's also good to ask whatever service we're using, whatever new technology we're using, who is that really serving, right? Especially when there are things that we get all those free services and free stuff to use that are amazing, right? But that is something that you could clearly question. Like, if something is really free, if you don't have to pay to use this amazing product, it probably means that you are the product, right? That you're not paying money for it, but it's the data about you and your behavioral patterns that are financing the existence of this product, so to speak, or this organization. So yeah, those are the two essential topics that I wanted to write about, and it turned out to be dystopia. That's also a bit when I'm singing "We're walking targets, self-sufficient drones" in the second half of the song before the final chorus. It's a bit about that aspect of are we being manipulated by the interests of whatever? I think the answer is yes, always. I think it's unfortunately always been the case historically, but it's good to, I think, ask ourselves before we make some decisions. Okay, in terms of inspiration, this song I was also quite inspired. Me and Philip were quite inspired by Nirvana. I think Nirvana from the grunge era, it's not necessarily the band that I know the most even, or that I listen to the most, but their importance and I think the impact of their music, very honest, very aggressive, very in your face. That is the inspiration that is the thing that inspires me and inspired us. So we wanted to write this short, to the point banger, and that's how I would say Nirvana joins the equation, right? Especially there's this in the riff, this progression I would associate a bit with Nirvana, and I personally really like in the verses that the notes are. I think this is the D with the third major third. I guess I'm not really good with that, but this sound, I really like this sound. This note here. I think Dave Grohl uses that a lot in songwriting, so I'm a big fanboy. So this is something that was when I'm talking about the inspiration being Nirvana. I think that aspect of the song and being like banger in your face. And visually also, when I was writing it and working on the song and even thinking of the music video a bit, there is the dystopian also movies that I like. So Matrix being one of them, right? And how machines are using humanity for their own to as their energy source of energy, and kind of creating this whole parallel reality where reality doesn't even matter. It's just what you feed into those folks. And Blade Runner as well. Blade Runner more on the visual side. I think visually, it's to be honest, it's not a movie that spoke too much to me. I think it was very slow. I didn't really like it that much, but it has this cyberpunk kind of dystopian vibe that I liked. So I don't think we translated that super, like, it wasn't even the intention on the music video to have that so blatantly there, because it's a bit more challenging to get to that point, dressing in spandex and black leather, like going to Berghain, was not the intention, but at least when I wrote it, those visuals were in my head. Okay, and now that I talked about the music video, the production, I think producing the song there's nothing particularly crazy to mention. I wouldn't say anything, but shooting the music video, we did both the Dystopia and the Radical Remission music videos in one session, and most of the work was done actually by Glauco. He had the idea on a bit of the lights and the editing as well, and I'm really happy with the end result. I think it looks quite nice, especially because we did the music video on a $0 budget, so I'm quite proud of what we achieved there. We shot it in our rehearsal room. The rehearsal room already looked a bit not the most organized place, but then during the shooting it was intense. It was hard to walk around, but we made it. It was quite nice. And yeah, I think last but not least, what this song means to me, there's not a clear sentence I would talk. I would say that this is da-da-da-da-da. But I think in terms of feelings, what I feel when I listen to the song is, first and foremost, it's short and intense to your face. That was something we went for. It's very kind of grayish, right? The topic is it's a bummer and very brutal in the sense of brutalist, kind of this concrete, kind of ugly, dry thing. That is also a bit what we wanted to go for in the EP, this kind of brutalist aesthetics. That's how I would summarize Dystopia. It was also a challenge in the direction of doing a shorter song that's to your face, with also structurally slightly different from what I used to write and what we wrote in the previous EP. So it was also a cool experiment that I would want to write more stuff in that direction. Not, of course, a copy of it, but keeping it short and sweet. I love it. I hope you liked it too, and I'll see you in the next video for this amazing series that I'm doing. Cheers.